and 2.
Aloha and good evening, everyone. And on this pleasant Friday night from Orem, Utah, we welcome you to KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of high school football. And this presentation of Timpanogos football, KSL Sports Rewind, is presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. And tonight, the Timpanogos Timberwolves welcome in the Hurricane Tigers as both teams get set for region play. And alongside my broadcast partner, Alex Amrine, the familiar voice of Alex Tumulip, joining you here at Timpanogos High School. Amrine, the first thing I say as I turn to you is, I hope you enjoyed your summer. But how about you? I'm ready to get back to football.
Oh, I've been so ready for football for a long time. Pretty much every time it hits end of the season from last year, I'm just ready for the next season to start, and I'm so happy it's back.
And we are glad to be back for a second season here on KSL Sports Rewind, Amrine and I. And we got a very interesting matchup tonight. The Timpanogos Timberwolves and the Hurricane Tigers. Let's start with the Tigers, first of all. Hurricanes coming off a loss in Nevada last week to Moapa Valley High School. But it can be said, though, this is a very stubborn Hurricane team. Their defense did everything they could to hold them in the game. And Garrett Grondell certainly did his share of the grunt work to keep the Tigers in it.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of bright spots from that game last week, despite the loss, and it was a close game. Garrett Grondell, he threw for over 250 yards. He even did well on the ground. So I think that, I'm going to talk later about kind of my keys to the game, but Garrett Grondell, as long as he can get confident in the pocket, he's going to be able to have a good game.
Now, on the other side for Timpanogos, you talk about making a statement. You thought Lone Pete made a statement last week against Bishop Alamani in California. Timpanogos did the same, 57-6 over Corona High School last Friday in California. There were a lot of questions, Amrine, about how they were going to fill the void. Austin Heap's team would, left by Chase Riggs' long-term injury. So far, I think they've got their answer. Luke Livingston's accounted for 10 total touchdowns this season in the state of Utah, the most. And definitely rotating between a three-quarterback system might be the way to go into region play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I was watching the quarterbacks warm up, and I saw even Luke Livingston throwing some passes. He did look a bit shaky, but we know what an athlete he is. And it doesn't matter if he's throwing it, or he's catching it, or running the rock. He's going to be able to be a great piece of this offense to score for the Timberwolves.
Now, as you're doing the coin toss down there, we're going to bring you our Heidemann & Associates keys to the game, presented by Heidemann & Associates, who's offering a free consultation to all KSL Sports Rewind viewers by contacting them at 801-472-7742 or online at utah.law. As we see, Timpanogos won the coin toss. They'll get the kickoff going towards the north goal here at their stadium. What are you looking at, Amrine, first of all, for the Hurricane Tigers?
So for the Hurricane Tigers, like I said earlier, we just need to get Garrett Grondell confident early. In the last two games he's played, he's only completed a combined 46% of his passes. Not fantastic, but when he has completed passes, we've seen some bright spots on the offense. So just let him dish out some short, easy passes to help him feel confident. With Timpanogos' high-powered offense, Garrett will need to have his offense firing on all cylinders in order to keep pace. As well, on the other side of the ball for the defense, you got to win the battle in the trenches. While Timpanogos surely has shown they can, win the game just through the air, Luke Livingston and MJ Ayosefo show that they can carry the offense fully on the ground if they wanted to. So set the pace of the game in the trenches down there.
Now on the other side for Timpanogos, they've got a lot of questions at the quarterback spot still going into next week's region opener. But what do they have to do tonight to answer some of those questions?
I think that at the end of the day, just give the ball to your playmakers, Luke Livingston and MJ. At the end of the day, like last week in their win over Corona, both Livingston and Ayosefo played quarterback to fill in for Chase Riggs, both throwing touchdown passes. They also combined for 133 yards and 3 scores rushing. Livingston also excelled in position at a wide receiver, racking in just under 80 yards and a score. On the defensive side, set the tone of how the game is going to go for Hurricane. The Timberwolves have recorded 10 sacks over just the 2 first games, so hit Grondell early and often and get him rattled up.
And boy, folks, Alex Amrine and I have not done a game since January 22nd of this year, but this is our first football game we'll be doing this year. And Amrine, I'll tell the viewers at home, I could not sleep till 4:30 this morning. I was that excited to get up here in the broadcast booth again.
Yeah, you told me that. I was sleeping well last night. I felt bad for you when you told me that. I get excited about football, but you're on a whole nother plane.
It is that time of the year. We are so thrilled to be back here. KSL Sports Rewind. Of course, we have 4 games going across the network tonight, including our simulcasted Red Zone stream on KSLSports.com, along with Dusty Litster and Jeff Hansen. That is being streamed also on the radio on 97.5 FM, The Zone, and 1280 AM. all on KSLSports.com, available for you tonight. Diego Hernandez set to kick off for the Hurricane Tigers. And on the other side, Tyler Hunter and Chance Pope are back to receive the kickoff for the Timberwolves.
You know, I'm very interested to see how this opening drive is going to go for the Timberwolves. I think we're going to get a good idea of how they're going to kind of run their offense for the game. And we're also going to get a pretty good feel about how the defense for the Hurricane, how they're going to respond.
The game clock is unofficial. Everything on the field, as you see it happen, will be official. We are set to go. We have waited a very long time to say these words, folks. Settle back in and watch as Diego Hernandez sends us away. And it will go to Chance Pope inside the 5. Pope out to the 15, and he'll be brought down just before the 20-yard line.
Good hang time on that kickoff allowed the Hurricane special teams to get back there and get them down pretty far back into their own territory.
And that will bring out the Timpanogos offense for the first possession of the game. And Amrine, it looks like it's going to be Luke Livingston to get the start here for the T-Wolves.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of assuming they go to. I mean, just what an athlete he is. So let's see what he can do.
He'll line up in the shotgun, double wides either side. And they'll hand it off on the first play. And going absolutely nowhere is number 4, MJ Yosefo.
For the Hurricane side, that's the perfect way that you want to start the game. I mean, it's one thing having an incomplete pass, but when you stop them and get a tackle for loss in the backfield, that immediately sets the tone for the drive.
They said he lost 3 on the play, 2nd and 13 now, ball on the 15. Livingston fakes the screen, in trouble, now gets rid of it, just throws a duck up for grabs, it's incomplete.
Livingston pass incomplete. Intended for Bretzing.
Intended for number 22, Easton Bretzing, and that will bring up 3rd down already. Pressure on the play by Adrix Clegg.
Yeah, it looked like on that last play as he was starting to scramble, he was looking for a receiver down the middle of the field, but just couldn't make that throw, and so fortunately he didn't get taken down for a sack or even worse, a safety.
On 3rd down and 13, Livingston sprinting to his left, now throws, and it's incomplete again. Intended for Iosefo. And that will bring a 4th down. And Timpanogos, Alex Amrine, 3 and out to start the game. Not exactly ideal. The kickoff gets returned, doesn't get past the 20, and now you're punting from deep in your own end.
Yeah, no, certainly not ideal. And then again, of course, when you're playing with a backup quarterback, and it's not like he's had a ton of experience. Missing Chase Riggs, you know, that's a big thing. We know what an arm he has and how comfortable he can be in the pocket. So it might take a little bit to get this offense going.
Reed Harris set to punt the football away for Timpanogos. Looks like they're short a man. Play clock down to 4, now to 3. And Austin Heaps is going to have to burn an early timeout as the Timberwolves are all over the place to start the game. So, boy, Amrine, we were just talking about it. It's a short 30-second timeout, by the way. We'll keep it on the air. How about that start to the game for Timpanogos? You get a 3 and out, and then all of a sudden you have 10 men on the field for the punt.
Yeah, certainly not ideal for Timpanogos. You know, I was kind of expecting them to come out here just firing on all cylinders. I was expecting just them to score quickly. So this is, you know, more than ideal for Hurricane side. I'm excited to see how their offense is going to do once they get out here. You know, they have that momentum. It's one thing when you're on an offense and you see your defensive side do their job. Then you have this, you know, responsibility. Okay, I got to do our job. We got to do our job.
In case anybody doesn't know, Alex Amrine is going to use that verbiage a lot tonight, the do your job mentality. You're just going to sneak every Patriots reference you can in there, can't you, buddy?
You know, I'm going to try to.
So here we try it again, 4th and 13, in case you're just joining us. Harris gets it away. It's a line drive kick in the direction of Hernandez, and this is a good punt. It'll take a Timpanogos bounce and will die out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
1st and 10, Hurricane.
That was a good 60-yard punt right there.
That really was.
A generous roll.
It was. It was officially 59-yard punt and no return. And so at 10:57 officially left in the first quarter, it'll be the Tigers who have their first possession of the night, and Garrett Grondell will take the field first. He'll line up with Austin McRoberts in the shotgun, double wide receivers to the right. And double wides also to the left. Grondell on 1st and 10, looking, throws off the sideline, got a man open, and it is caught but out of bounds. It was intended for Nephi Iloa, the tight end who lined up in the slot on the left side, and it'll bring up second down.
You know, I talked to you about this before the game. During warm-ups as they were going through walkthroughs, I saw Garrett Grondell basically target Nephi every play in walkthroughs, and so that was interesting that he goes right to him. Unfortunately, Nephi cannot get that 1 foot inbounds on the far side of the field.
This time Grondell goes into the pistol. Iloa, by the way, 6'5", 260. He goes in motion now. From the pistol, Grondell, read option right side. A lot of room to the 30. He's at the 35, cuts upfield, breaks a tackle into the secondary, and he gets twisted to the turf at about the 40-yard line. Finally brought down by Liam Fuller, but that's enough for a first down of a nearly 20-yard gain there, Amrine.
Yeah, goodness. I forgot how exciting it was to see a quarterback option play in person. That got me just so much excited. I got the adrenaline going. I got goosebumps right here.
Triple wide receiver now lines up to the left on 1st and 10. Low snap. Grondell takes the snap, drops the pass, rolls out of the pocket, throws on the run, and the pass is incomplete. Thrown behind. And intended for not Nash Price. It was intended for R.J. Wright, who caught 6 passes for 129 last week against Moapa Valley. On the pressure, Brighton Tate for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, there was a cornerback right on the tail end of that play. He was fortunate that that one didn't end up in the hands of the defender there. Maybe got to be a bit more conservative with the ball when making those kind of throws.
Screen pass to McRoberts on 2nd and 10, and oh my goodness, he got run over. Tyson Miller was not fooled, came right up from his linebacker spot, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, what a tackle by Tyson Miller. He read that all the way. Great job playing right there in the flat, seeing what was going on. He probably saw the line dissipate, and so he knew there was some trickery going on. So great job reading the play and getting a good tackle for loss.
3rd down and 10 now for the Hurricane Tigers. This is going to be interesting, because if you get past the 50, Amrine, you're kind of almost in no man's land, and this could be 4-down territory for the Tigers, depending on where they are.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see, knowing that the other side's offense looks like they might struggle tonight if they will go for it.
Grondell from the shotgun takes the snap. Pressure coming to the right side. Penalty flag goes down as Grondell will take it out to midfield. There's a flag down.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a holding.
Yep, I think you're right on that one, Amrine. It came from the referee, blocking from the back. It's short of the first down.
Early indication is holding on the Tigers.
It's short of the first down, so it looks like the referee's going to have a chat with Austin Heaps. And I think if you're Timpanogos, you take this penalty, because otherwise it's 4th down and a manageable, and the Tigers might think about going for it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like this offense is going for big plays right here. I don't think that they'll try to take a big shot early in the game. And as you predicted, it looks like they are going to take that penalty and have another 3rd down.
Yeah, that's going to make it 3rd and a mile here for Hurricane.
Ball spot on the 32-yard line.
Clock shows 9:30 here in the stadium. McRoberts standing next to Grondell in the shotgun. Double wide receivers to the left. Nephi Iloa, the tight end, line up to the right. T-Wolves show blitz. Here they come. Grondell steps up, looking, still looking. Nowhere to go. Now he's going to take off and run, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds, and a late flag comes in after the play.
Yeah, there was a little hesitation from the ref there. I thought that was going to come out immediately. There was a late hit on Grondell. I think that is the right call by the ref. Unfortunate, the Timpanogos side doesn't want to see that, but it was a late hit. One thing I've been impressed so far, after that first play, it looks like, the Hurricane offensive line is having some struggles handling the pressure, but Grondell's doing a good job of evading the pressure right there. He was able to scramble for a little bit, It looks like they're going to move upfield a little bit and have third and manageable now.
15-yard penalty.
Yeah, fourth and manageable, rather. Excuse me.
Yeah, remember in high school football, a personal foul after the play does not result in an automatic first down. And it looks like Hurricane's going to punt it away, and Diego Fernandez is going to kick it away. There's actually a double number on the roster. That could be R.J. Wright that's kicking. Tyler Hunter back to get the punt for Timpanogos. Wright takes the snap. Pooch kick. Hunter comes up and will let it bounce. And that will take a sideway hop out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. T-Wolves will take over with 1st and 10 when we come back. 8-9-13 to go in the first quarter. Both teams go punt, no score on KSLSports.com.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
Apologies, we had to come back so quick. Livingston on 1st and 10 from the 7, throws the screen. That's complete for a short gain.
Pass complete to Bretzing.
To Easton Bretzing. Give him 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8 coming up.
They were practicing a lot of those screen plays and warm-ups. I think that's just part of getting Luke Livingston confident throwing the ball.
Back to the line, quickly they go. So another screen pass out to the left side this time, and a stiff arm out to the 20, and getting thrown out of bounds at about the 25-yard line is Logan Wheeler. And Wheeler has a first down for a Timpanogos false down. And that's our first one of the night. And quickly back to the line they come. Livingston, quick screen, that's complete. Out to the 30, and getting brought down after a gain of about maybe 5 is Josh Graff.
Yeah, they're definitely going high tempo this drive.
2nd down and 4.
Yeah, this is what they like to do. This is the Timpanogos hyper tempo that we've grown so accustomed to seeing over the years. Livingston hands off to Yosepo, and he gets met at the line of scrimmage. He lost a couple. And that'll bring up another 3rd down, and the ball came out.
Yeah, I thought I saw the ball come out before he was down, but it looks like the refs are going to keep it Timberwolves ball.
Yeah, the officials are going to say it's 3rd down.
I guess they got much better eyes than I do from all the way up here.
Well, we are up on top of the press box, Amrine, so we are a bit of a disadvantage. 3rd down and 5 now at the 28. Yosepo lines up in the shotgun with Livingston. Play clock at 1. And they're not going to get the playoff in.
Timeout, Timpanogos.
Timpanogos is going to have to burn another timeout. So it's a 30-second timeout. So we will take a break and step aside. 7:34 officially left here in the first quarter. No score here on KSLSports.com.
At UCCU, we'll
I'd like to thank UCCU for their partnership and sponsorship of KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of football and other high school sports all season long. Alexander Timberlip, Alex Amrine here on top of the broadcast booth here at Timpanogos High School. No score between the Timberwolves and the Hurricane Tigers. Very interesting start indeed, and we talked about how Timpanogos' offense had a lot of questions coming in. Don't think they're doing much to answer them here so far.
Yeah, I know, and it's been unfortunate they had to burn 2 timeouts. That's to be expected. Looks like they may get a change at quarterback as well.
Yosepo is in at quarterback on 3rd down, and the pass is just over the fingertips of Luke Livingston, who got a step on everybody. It was 0 coverage in behind, and Yosepo threw that by about a half fingernail too far.
Really unfortunate play right there, but I think that's actually a positive play. Despite the incompletion, I think that's a positive for the offense. One, they had time in the pocket. MJ made a great throw, and Luke Livingston was wide open downfield. I think they're definitely going to continue with that in the drives upcoming to see if that'll work.
Harris back to punt for the second time. RJ Wright back on the other end of the field to get the punt. And it's a side-footed wobbler. And it's going to take a Timpanogos bounce. And it will die at about the 30-yard line.
The 30-yard line. First and 10 Tigers.
Punt traveled officially. Punt traveled officially 42 yards, no return.
Bodily and Austin Baker.
And so, Amrine, I turn to you, and this has got to be a confidence builder here for the Hurricane Tigers because, as we said, their defense did a lot to hold them in it last week against Moaba Valley. So far, it's been the Timberwolves, really, that's making their mistakes, that's keeping them in it so far.
Yeah, and I mean, for a Timberwolves side that scored, 50-plus points last week, knowing that they haven't even gotten on the scoreboard yet, we're almost halfway through the first quarter, that's got to be, a confidence builder, as you said.
Austin McRoberts on the sweep to the far side. Picks up about 5. Been a very much a slugfest of a first quarter here so far between these two teams. Second down and 5. McRoberts goes in motion to the right. Grondell fakes, looks, takes off into the secondary, has a first down, and he gets to the 45-yard line before he gets brought down there.
Keeps down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, great play
by Brighton Tate.
Great play right there by Grondell. The blocking wasn't amazing, but he was able to, just wiggle up for a good amount of yards, get a first down. Every time he's gotten the ball in his hands, he made something happen. So keep on feeding him.
Yeah, we said off the top, Grondell accounted for 286 total yards of offense last week, 255 passing, 255 passing, 31 rushing. First and 10 from the 45. Grondell looks, comes to the right side, pressure coming, and he's brought down.
Grondell sacked on the play.
Aiden Vongsawad with the sack.
Yeah, they got that corner blitz going. You saw him crash right before the play hiked, and the left guard and left tackles couldn't handle all that pressure. Grondell so far has been able to avoid the pressure, able to avoid the sack, not able to do so on that play.
Loss of 3 on the play, 2nd and 13. They go double wides to the left. Nephi Iloa, the tight end, is also in the left. Grondell, read option. And now RPO, pass is caught. That's Iloa, stiff arm. And he gets brought down after a pickup of about 3. First contact made by Tage Litzter. Uncle Dusty, of course, watching back in Salt Lake. And that'll bring up a 3rd and a long 10 here for Hurricane.
And 9.
Yeah, that was a pretty creative play on the offensive side. He's able to fake out, the defense on the read, but then unfortunately, that was a great tackle to take down. 6'5" Nephi.
Giving up quite a few inches there is Tage Litzter on 3rd down and 9. Grondell steps up, runs into his own man. Down he goes again.
Brought down again. This time, Brighton Tate with the sack.
Brighton Tate this time with the sack. And that pressure's getting home early and often here for the Timpanogos Timberwolves here, Amrine.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they're going to keep, this kind of play where they just let Grondell have the ball and see if he can pick up yards. I talked earlier in the game that I think if they could get to him early, he's not going to be able to have a super consistent game and not a very good game. 2 sacks on that drive right there, forcing them to punt. I don't know. I'm just excited to see all these different game plans. That's what happens in a big defensive game like this.
Right to punt. Penalty flag goes down, and it's a good one. Hunter comes up, gets it at the 25. He's at the 35. Stiff arm, and he goes down at the 35-yard line. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage, and we have another flag after the fact. Looked like more extracurricular activity. We've seen a lot of that, Amrine, here early on.
Well, who doesn't like extracurricular activities? They need to rename that.
Well, it is extracurricular activity. I mean, it's after the play.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is extracurricular.
Extracurricular just sounds so positive.
What were we supposed to call it? I the only thing I can think of is fighting.
Mischief.
Mischief. There you go.
Rebel rousing.
There you go. Yeah. So I would assume the first penalty is going to be against Hurricane for a pre-snap infraction, i.e. an illegal formation or an illegal shift, and then possibly we could have a personal foul. But we'll see what the official says.
Illegal formation against the Tigers.
And so it is an illegal formation, as there are more than 4 men on the field. And it's a personal foul against Hurricane. So that's going to move the ball into, I believe, into Tigers territory there, because the return went to the 35. That's going to move it close to midfield, I think, with the penalty.
Yeah, that flag right there has got to be manna from heaven for the Timberwolves right here, who just can't seem to get much going on their side. So maybe this will get them a little boost. Maybe he can get into field goal range, just get some points on the board.
Well, head coach Corey Ashby's out here on the field wondering what the heck's going on. He's looking at the officials, wanting an explanation for the personal foul, but he's not going to get a very... Well, he's going to get one. He's not going to get a very satisfactory one for his taste.
Yeah, well, when the referees have 2 footballs in the field, you know that something amiss is going on. So, okay, we're back to 1 football, so it looks like they're starting to get things figured out.
Now they'll mark it off. So they are now going to mark off the 15-yard penalty. And that's... Yeah, I was about to say that illegal formation penalty is going to be tacked on, so that's 20 yards in penalties that Timpanogos basically got off 2 flags.
Yeah, well, thankfully for the offense, for the Timberwolves, while the rest are trying to figure things out, this gives the offense a bit more time to, game plan what they want to do. It looks like Luke Livingston's back there at quarterback again. Not what I was thinking would happen, but maybe they got something planned up for this drive.
He will take over 1st and 10 at the Tiger 45.
So after that lengthy conference, or the meeting of the zebras as they call it, as Timpanogos now goes into that stack formation on the left side. 4 receivers and a diamond. That's new.
They like their screens. Let's see if they go to it.
We could see a double pass. Livingston throws. That's complete. It's just the 1 pass to Gabe Graff. It didn't gain much. I don't think it gained anything.
Yeah, well, those screens are hard because when you don't have, a deep threat, the defense isn't going to play off of you like that. So they're just waiting for the short game right there. Every time they've had one of those short passes, the Hurricane side's been right there to meet it.
And now Yosefo goes back in there at quarterback. And he's going to try to run, and he goes absolutely nowhere.
Behind the line.
I think they were trying to set up a screen, and then Yosefo got absolutely decked.
Yeah, you saw
First contact by Chase Meacham.
You saw him look to the right there. It looked like the pressure was going to get there before you could even get the ball out, so he just tried to make something happen, but you can't do that when it's 3-on-1.
It's almost like the offensive line just opened up the doors on him there. It was very unusual. 3rd down and a mile. Livingston lays it off to Yosefo. Yosefo breaking tackles. He'll get to the 40. And they'll mark him officially at the 41-yard line. Pickup of 9. And if I'm a betting man, I think you go for it here.
Yeah, it looks like they are.
You're kind of in no man's land. Darned if you do, darned if you don't. Livingston on 4th down and 6 from the 46 officially. Triple wide receiver lines up to the left. MJ Yosefo, the single setback, to the left hip pocket of Luke Livingston. On 4th and 6, pass is tipped and incomplete.
Turnover on downs. 1st and 10, Tigers.
1st and 10, Tigers on the turnover on downs. As Adrix Clegg, it looks like, got his hand on it. And that is a turnover on downs with 2:27 left here in the first quarter. No score between Hurricane and Timpanogos. Alexander Timolip and Alex Amrine joining you here from Timpanogos High School.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate on that last play because the receiver out to the right was open. You could see Livingston was, visibly just kind of upset that the one time he got a guy open, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Penalty flag.
Looks like
I
a
have
false
a feeling
start.
this is going to be a false start. Looked like there was some movement.
False start against the Tigers. 1st and 15.
Push the ball back to the 44, make it 1st and 15 now. Or rather to the, not to the 44, to the 36. Rondell in the shotgun. Rondell looks to the right. Man coming to his right now throws. That's complete to R.J. Wright. And he hops out of bounds at about the, call it the 44-yard line. A pickup on the play of 8.
Forced out at the 44-yard line.
That was an impressive play by Grondell. Getting out of the pocket, you saw him looking through his levels. He checked downfield for a second. Obviously made the right call going short there. Like I said, just get this offense going, just little chunks by chunks.
So they pick up the penalty yards plus 3 more, 2nd and 7 from the 44. McRoberts goes in motion. Grondell looked his way, now comes back to R.J. Wright, and Wright has some blocking. Gets outside the midfield, and he gets into Timberwolf territory, still on his feet, and he'll get dogpiled. He still won't go down. Right at the 44-yard line, a pickup of close to 11. That's another first down, and how about that? The quick screen game.
1st and 10, Hurricane.
Taking Timpanogos out of their comfort zone here early on.
Yeah, I know they got everyone over to the right, leaving a lane open in the middle. Unfortunate that the refs called that whistle a little bit early because he kept on pushing forward, and they want every yard they can get.
So Grondell now in the pistol. 1st and 10 at the 44. Here is a stretch play to McRoberts. And McRoberts gets about maybe 4 yards over, or 5 yards rather, over left guard.
McRoberts up the middle.
Brought down on the play by...
Crosses the 40, brought down at the 39.
Brought down on the play there by Timpanogos' Brighton Tate. Quickly back to the line, 2nd and 5, again from the pistol. And again, it's McRoberts. This time tries the outside left off the tackle. And he's going to get the first down plus a few more, and he'll be brought down at about the 30.
Off the left side.
And how about this, Amrine? Hurricane starting to move the ball a little bit.
Yeah, they must have made some adjustments on the offensive line because one thing I'm seeing is a lot less penetration by the Timpanogos side in the trenches. They've had some, good runs here and there just off to the left on these stretch plays. If it ain't broke, keep on doing it.
From the shotgun now, here's Grondell with McRoberts at his left pocket. Play action, and the pass is incomplete.
Incomplete pass ruled on the field.
Looked like it was tipped.
2nd down.
By Brighton Tate. And
Yeah, right.
And with 58 seconds left, it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, right there. I saw him look out to his right and almost looked like it was a pump fake that slipped out of his hand, but I don't know. It's always hard to tell what a quarterback's intention is, and it's up to the judgment of the ref.
Well, we apologize, folks. We're start the game.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do at the start of this drive. Obviously, they have, exactly where they want to be.
We are ready for a second quarter that will start with Timpanogos inside the red zone. No score here in the first quarter. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright at Brent Brown Toyota in Orem.
Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. No score between Hurricane and Timpanogos. Alexander Timolip alongside my broadcast partner Alex Amrine here at Timpanogos High School. Again, we want to apologize. We've been having some technical difficulties with our computer here. And in case you just missed it, Luke Livingston had a 46-yard run. It was a turnover on downs, as Alex DeLeo had a pass intended for him broken up in the end zone, as Hurricane came the closest we have seen to scoring here in this game. Second down and 11 now from the 16. Livingston sprinting to his right, looks to the right now, throws, and it's incomplete. Intended for MJ Yosefo on the swing pass. And it'll bring up third down and long.
Yeah, one thing going forward that's going to be, I think, difficult for the Hurricane side. Obviously, they've realized, they throw these screens out to the side. But now with Luke Livingston running up the middle, they're going to decide how they want to split up their 11 guys on defense. Are they going to want to be more central on defense? Or are they going to want to play in the flats to make sure that screen game doesn't get going, as they've been able to stuff it up thus far? Hopefully for the Timberwolves, they can get something out of this drive. I'm assuming if they don't get it right here, they're just going to want to get points on the board.
And the play clock here down to 5 again. The clock management an issue here. And Austin Heaps is going to have to burn their final timeout.
Timeout.
That's the third time we've seen that.
It took them a long time to get to the line of scrimmage to get things figured out. Obviously, the coach not very happy with that.
Cut my heart about 1, 2 times. Don't need to question the reason I'm yours.
Well, this has certainly been an interesting first quarter, to say the least, Hamright. I mean, I don't think we would have expected it would have been scoreless after the first quarter, but Timpanogos' offense just looks all over the place right now.
No, yeah, it's kind of sad. I was expecting this to be, heavily in Timpanogos' side. I was expecting it to be a very close game, but, we got a defensive matchup on our hands. And I'm a huge fan of these kind of games. While shootouts are always fun, I'm down for one that's just back and forth to see which defensive side has more stamina and can last longer.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic, to say the least. Technical difficulties. Grondell on 2nd down and 5. We pick it up live, and I mean live, as R.J. Wright has another first down close to midfield. And he has a first down out to the 49, and so far it's the R.J. Wright show here, Alex Amrine.
Yeah, and whether it looks like that was the same play they ran earlier to pick up that first down just a few plays ago, and whether that's just a read or a play action, it looks like no matter what, the secondary is giving quite a big cushion right there, so the slant's going to work pretty much every time unless the pass is overthrown, underthrown, and so far and so forth.
Clock shows 9:14 here in the second quarter. 7-0 in favor of Timpanogos if you're just joining us. Grondell from the shotgun. On a fly sweep now, on the handoff. Here comes Stewart with blocking. And he's brought down with another first down close to the 40. Caleb Hadley with the tackle. But another pickup of 11 and another first down.
Good job by the offense. Seems like they're getting like so many different people involved on this drive. It's going to keep this defense guessing.
Back to the line they come quickly. $7-0 our score. 8:45 to go here in the second. Grondell pitches to McRoberts, and the ball's out! And it looks like Timpanogos has it, and they do have it! Austin McRoberts bobbled the pitch, and coming up with the football are the Timpanogos Timberwolves. Tyson Miller made the recovery.
What a shot to the heart of the Hurricane Tigers right there. It looks like that was possibly their best offensive drive, at least momentum-wise. So, for this Timpanogos side, they have no reason to not go back and score another touchdown with that, their last drive. They did so well. So let's see what MJ and Luke Livingston have in their pockets.
8:36 to go here in the second quarter. $7-0 in favor of Timpanogos. We're going to try to get the scoreboard updated as soon as we can. Iosefo, so much time back there. He can read a book. Passes caught, but for not much. That's Josh Graff who made the catch. But no gain on, or rather that's Gabe Graff. No gain on the play. In fact, he lost about a yard. Just hold on a moment, folks. Vince Francis is updating our scoreboard. Livingston takes it on the Wildcat snap, and he goes nowhere. Absolutely bottled up on the play there.
Third down.
No gain on that one. Lost another one. Another contact made by Landon Stewart. And it's third down again. Livingston in the shotgun. Iosefo in his left hip pocket. Livingston fakes the screen. Throws up the sideline. Got a man open. And it's caught. Down the sideline of the 20. 15 to 10. 5. Touchdown. Timpanogos. Just when you thought it was going nowhere, Easton Bretsing makes the catch and takes it all the way 56 yards, and there are no flags.
Yeah, good touch on that throw to get it over the head of the defender, and then it was just a race down the sideline. He's able to beat out that free safety playing over the top. Looks like the Timberwolves offense might have the wheels rolling.
Where have you been? It took them long enough. Converted on fourth down earlier for the touchdown, and now they get a third down touchdown. Harris Reed's extra point is good.
Harris's kick is good. With 7:29 left in the first half.
We look at the scoreboard, 7:29 left to go here in the first half. It is 14-0 in favor of Timpanogos. Back after this word from WGU on KSLSports.com.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Test day's test day. Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
Tests on your time. Courses on your time. Graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of VU.
Welcome back, everybody. KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of Timpanogos football is presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. You have to apologize, folks. We are having a lot of technical issues here with our scoreboard. It is 14-0 Timpanogos. with 7 minutes, 29 seconds left here in the first half. Reed's kickoff will go once again through the end zone for a touchback.
You know, I said in the beginning of the last drive, you know, it wasn't super crucial, the Tigers score right there. Now down 2 scores, you know, with the clock starting to get low in the second quarter, I do think it's time that the Tigers, you know, get this offense rolling. They did, unfortunately, have that fumble on the last drive while they were finally into enemy territory. Let's see if they go back to that same kind of just quick tempo, you know, where they were running it, getting little passes off. Let's see if they get RJ Wright back in the game here. I'm excited to see what they do.
14-0 our score, 7:29 to go here in the second quarter. Rondell from the shotgun. Screens it out. And that's Austin McRoberts. And McRoberts gets absolutely clobbered on that far sideline. What a hit. Brighton Tate came over and absolutely knocked the snot out of him.
Yeah, nothing a whole lot right there on that little wheel route to the right side.
They gave him a yard, if anything, on the play. 2nd and a long 9. Rondell fakes, steps up, gets away from the pressure. Now he's going to take off and run, gets to the corner, and he's going to pick up a first down as he hops out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And quite clearly, Amrine, the legs of Garrett Rondell are causing a lot of problems for Timpanogos.
Yeah, no, that was a good scramble right there. You know, we talked about how, you know, I think he had 31 yards rushing last week in their loss. You know, I think that by the end of the night, he's going to have doubled, maybe tripled that, by the way. You know, this offense is really going to be put upon his shoulders if they want to get something going right there. And it looks like it'll be a first down for the Tigers.
Apologize, folks. We're trying to update our scoreboard here. It's 7:12 left in the second quarter, 14-0. Here's a sweep to the far side to McRoberts. And McRoberts will pick up about 3 before he gets whacked to the turf. Brighton Tate over there alongside him, Jose Reyes.
You know, and while that was a good little pickup right there, I think my favorite part of that play, if any of the viewers out there saw it, Nephi was just able to totally just push back the guy he was blocking, sent the defender flying. I want to see more of that right there. That was entertaining.
2nd down and 6 now. McRoberts next to Grondell in the shotgun. They fake the fly sweep, give it to McRoberts, and McRoberts has his whole right side of the field open. And he gets pulled down very close to the 46-yard line. That's enough to move the sticks. You know, the funny thing about this is, Amrine, is Hurricane might not be on the scoreboard, but they're moving the ball.
No, and I'm interested to see the stats at halftime, how many yards they picked up. Unfortunately, their drives just kind of stalled right at the wrong times. But especially, like, you know, they've had a few plays here and there through the air, but on the ground, it's been great.
And again, here's another run right on cue. And that's the first carry of the game for Lincoln Langston, I believe. Or, excuse me, that's Ethan Staples who got the carry. Another pickup of 6, 2nd down and 4. Flag goes down.
Free
and the
play.
screen pass goes to Wright. And Wright hops out of bounds. And I think you're right, Amrine. There might be looks like it might be offside, but...
It looks like while they're making substitutions, they had 2 guys running off the field, too many on the field.
Yeah, the initial indication from the line judge is that it is against the Timberwolves here. 5:55 to go second quarter. Again, we apologize for all the technical difficulties we've been having with our scoreboard. We're trying very, very hard to update it right now, but it's not cooperating with us. We also want to apologize for our computer stream going out earlier. Our computer battery is not cooperating either. And so we appreciate all of your patience.
All play from the 34-yard line where the Tigers take over 1st and 10.
And we have yet another flag. And again, it looks like, and actually this time I think it's going to be an equipment violation. Wow. We don't see that one too often, am I?
I was about to say, I don't know if all the times we call the high school football games I've ever seen that happen.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the T-Wolves.
So an equipment violation, that's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the T-Wolves, and that's going to make it 1st and 10 inside the red zone. So again, another opportunity inside the 30 here for the Hurricane Tigers. Grondell, pitch pass, R.J. Wright. Wright has a block, and he's going to go down close to the 15-yard line, pickup of 4 on the play. Clock rolling with 5:42 to go here in the first half. 14-0 Timberwolves.
Yeah, he was lucky to get a few yards in that play. The blocks broke down pretty quickly here.
Another opportunity here for the Hurricane Tigers. They turned it over on their last possession crossing midfield on downs, and then they turn it over on the fumble. Grondell, fade route to the end zone. It is incomplete. Intended for R.J. Wright. And it will be 3rd down and 6 to go. And if I'm a betting man, I would assume Timpanogos is, or rather Hurricanes going for it here on 4th down if they get there.
Yeah, no, I think so. Down 2 scores. You know, you want to show that you're ready to meet the pace of the other side's offense. On that last throw, I think it was just a bit too much air on. Didn't get there quick enough. Unfortunately, out of bounds.
3rd down and 6. Hurricane needs to get to the 9-yard line for a 1st down. Grondell in the shotgun. Grondell, sprint out to the right. Has he low on that side. Throws, it's caught. 1st down inside the 10. And out of bounds he goes at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, I think Ilo is going to be the guy to look out for if you're the Timpanogos defense right here. We know what a physical guy he is, 6'5". He just towers over those guys. It'll be interesting if they just throw one up there and get an easy 6.
1st and goal now at the 7 for the Hurricane Tigers. Clock stop with 5:08 to go here in the 2nd quarter. 14-0 Timberwolves. The fake to Staples. Grondell takes off up the middle. And he'll go down at about the 4-yard line, a pickup of 3.
2nd down and goal.
2nd and goal coming up.
Now, you have to score here if you're the Tigers. If you go 4 and out right here, I think that's just going to be a real demoralizer for this team after finally getting so close after so many tries. 2nd down and goal. They got 3 good shots to get the ball into the end zone.
2nd and goal now from the 4. Clock rolling with 4:33 to go. Grondell, play action, end zone, just overthrown, intended for R.J. Wright, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think for R.J. Wright, that ball came a bit earlier than he was expecting. His head just turned on that swivel a bit too late. He was open on that one.
Big play coming up. 4:28 to go here in the 2nd quarter. We're having some technical issues that we're going to reset here at halftime. In motion. Grondell looking. In trouble! Sacked! Brighton Tate again! 2nd sack of the game for Tate, and it's 4th down.
Good job by Tate, not letting Grondell evade him as he's evaded so many others throughout this game thus far, bringing up 4th down.
Big play here, 4th and goal at the 9-yard line. 3:59 and counting in a 14-0 game. And it looks like Corey Ashby's just going to let the play clock run down, and they will take a timeout and talk about it. And so they will, with 3:45 to go. 4th down coming up in a 14-0 game. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Test day's test day. Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of VU.
Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. Timpanogos leading 14-0 over Hurricane with 3 3/4 minutes left to go. It's 4th and goal. So, Amrine, who do you go to here other than R.J. Wright?
I think if it's not R.J. Wright, you got to go to Nephi Iloa. Like I said earlier, he's just got the size, he's got the hands. I think he's the guy that you want to go to when you're in this kind of situation.
4th and goal. Grondell gonna throw. Caught! Touchdown!
Touchdown, Tigers. Pass to Gage Huntsman for an 8-yard
Gage Winston! And with 3:40 to go, it's the Tigers who strike back, and they're back within 1 score.
Yeah, and I think on that play, RJ and Nephi, they were kind of just the attention grabbers in that play. As that went to the right, Winston was able to go to the left, and a good pass there to get into the end zone for their first score of the game.
3:39 left to go here in the first half. RJ Wright now to attempt the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is perfect.
He is good.
And with 3:39 left to go here in the first half, the T-Wolves lead the Hurricane Tigers 14-7. We'll be back after this word from Brent Brown Toyota Scion on KSLSports.com.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright at Brent Brown Toyota in Orem.
Doing double duty here as RJ Wright gets set to kick off. Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. Alexander Timulip and Alex Amrine with you here. It is 14-7 in favor of Timpanogos. Coming up in the half, Amrine and I will have thoughts from the first half, what each team needs to do in the second half to continue on to victory, and we'll have an update for you on all the scores across the state. Reminder, we are also simulcasting our Red Zone show across KSL Sports Rewind and on KSL 97.5 and 1280 AM as the kickoff will travel into the end zone, a line drive for a touchback.
Kickoff into the end zone for a touchback.
And it will come out to the 20-yard line with 3:39 to go here in the first half.
You know, with the way the football bounces, I was wondering if that one might have skipped out of bounds, and that would have been an unfortunate flag for the Tigers after scoring their touchdown, giving the Timberwolves good position.
3:39 to go here in the first half. If you're just joining us, Luke Livingston caught the first touchdown of the game on a 4th down and 3 play from the 7. That's after he picked up a 46-yard run, the big play on the drive, and then it was Livingston to Bretzing from 56 yards to make it 14-0. Yosefo on 1st and 10. Looking, throws a wobbler down the far seam, and it's incomplete.
Incomplete. Intended for Josh Graff.
That was intended for Josh Graff. And second down coming up.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because he was wide open on that play, and this is one of those times where, you start to feel that hole that Chase Briggs left with that shoulder injury. But talking about this team as a whole, actually, in an interview that he had with Hive Sports, Chase Briggs was saying that he thinks that this team has a lot of potential to even make the state championship this year. While they did lose a few seniors, he thinks that they have a lot of experience on varsity to win the region.
Yeah, and a crowded one that features Cedar Valley and, of course, Stansbury, as the screen pass is caught by Bretzing. Breaks a tackle, and he gets twisted to the turf at about the 27-yard line.
Down across the 25.
First contact made by Alexander Stubbs.
Good name.
3rd and 3.
It's not the first time we called an Alexander here tonight. 3rd down and 3. Yosefo from the shotgun. And it is a screen to Livingston. Passes a little high. Makes a man miss. And now he might have space. Livingston, the 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown.
Josefa to Livingston. 73 yards.
Another third down touchdown. This one goes 73 yards.
Yeah, that was just a pure athletic play right there, right from the get-go. It was kind of an overthrow from Iosefo. I thought, the play was broken down, but Luke Livingston show off, his little vertical jump, able to get that, and then just speed down the sideline once more for another sideline hustle.
Harris Reed now in to attempt the extra point. 2:56 to go here in the first half. Good snap, good hold. The kick is good.
There's a PAT is good. With 2:56 left.
We look at the scoreboard. 2:56 left to go here in the first half. 21-7 in favor of Timpanogos. We'll be back after this word from UCCU on KSLSports.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy.
Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football. 21-7 in favor of the T-Wolves. Harris Reed gets set to kick off with 2:56 left here in the first half. Reed kicks it off, and this will not be returned.
Kick off once again into the end zone for a touchback. First and 10.
So, Amrine, as I turn to you, we've had 3 touchdowns by Timpanogos, but all 3 of them have either come on 4th or 3rd down. That's got to be a shock to the heart of the Hurricane Tigers because they have them in the right spot, but they just can't get off the field.
It's one of those things that's so frustrating because, what goes through your mind in the first and second downs, okay, we got them figured out. And then 3rd and 4th down, you're like, you got to be kidding me. That's just demoralizing for their side. But, what that also shows in a positive light, they are able to figure it out. It's not like they're scoring on 1st and 2nd downs, just driving down the field. It's just like these big plays here and there. If they can figure out how to stop those big ones, I think they can get something going.
1st and 10 from the 20. Rondell back to work, throws. That's complete to the far side to Wright. And Wright breaks a tackle, and he steps out of bounds with a 1st down close to the 35-yard line. So R.J. Wright, who caught 6 for 129 last week, Amrine, that has to be close to 10 catches he's had in the first half. What a first half he's had.
Yeah, he's been one of the few bright spots for this Tigers offense here. Obviously, we know his skill set. He's lined out on the far side every time. Plenty of space off of him, so why not keep on going back to him?
Flag.
Penalty will be offsides against the T-Wolves.
Ball start. Was it induced? Yes, it was.
1st and 5 from the 40.
So 1st and 5. 1st and 5 now from the 40. Again, our scoreboard is down. It's 21-7 with 2:49 to go here in the first half. Rondell hands off to McRoberts. And McRoberts squirms for 3 to about the 43-yard line.
Roberts carries. Wrestled down by Jaden Robinson.
Jaden Robinson, first contact there for Timpanogos. Rondell throws. That's complete again to Wright. And Wright squirms through a crease. And he will get to midfield. That's enough for a 1st down pickup of 10.
Reception into T-Wolf territory.
One thing that's impressive about Wright, not only his height that gives him that advantage over the defenders, but he's very squirrely too. He's kind of got that physicality, that movement style of a slot receiver, which gives him the advantage on these short little screens.
Rondell going to take off here on 1st and 10, and he gets decked, but not before he picks up 6.
Rondell with a carry. 6-yard gain on the play.
2:08 left and counting.
Yeah, our view is kind of obscured by the Timpanogos sideline right there. I was waiting for the ref to call it in. I thought that he might have gotten a foot in bounds. Unfortunately on that one, that looked like that might have been a stroke of luck for the Tigers.
37.4 to go. Minder, Hurricane still does have a couple of timeouts, and they're going to use one here. We want to apologize, folks. We've been having a lot of issues all night long with our feed, with our scoreboard, with our CPU. We want to apologize. We're hoping that, everything is cooperating, but nothing can go perfectly in the world of broadcasting. So we're hoping that everything else goes smoothly. But other than that, Amrine, game action here so far. This is a huge fourth down, given the fact that Hurricane is going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, this will be I think, a huge pivotal point. If they're able to score, I think they could really flip the script on Timpanogos. This game is definitely not how this thing is going to go. It was basically just a stalemate in the first quarter. Then it's been just back and forth, back and forth. Fortunately for Timpanogos, it's been in their favor. We'll be able to see if more points are going to get on the board here shortly as this timeout ends.
Score is 21-7 with 37 seconds left here in the first half. It's 4th and 6 for Hurricane. Well, Amrine, we've seen two third down touchdowns and a fourth down touchdown and another fourth down touchdown. So are we primed to see another one, I wonder?
No, let's see. Unfortunately, that's, mostly been on Timpanogos' side of the ball.
Blitz coming. Grondell steps up, a lot of room to run, gets away from a man, and he's got the first down inside the red zone.
Great play of athleticism right there. It looked like he might have been a yard short, and right before his knee hit the ground, he stretched out to get that first.
They're going to line up to spike it, and they do with 24 seconds left here in the first half. .7 left here in the first half, officially. Reminder that the Tigers will get the football to start the second half. 21-7 in favor of Timpanogos. A lot of confusion on the defensive side of the ball right now for the Timberwolves. Grondell in the shotgun. And they're coming. And it's a layoff. Wide open is McRoberts. And he'll step out of bounds at the 9-yard line with 19 seconds to go. You talk about a busted coverage. That was it right there.
Yeah, I think that was the exact right play call right there. Don't try to take any shots. You have time. You have 20 seconds. You get a few more plays off. They get the first down. Got 4 more cracks at it right here.
Yeah, quite possibly. They could have 3, depending on if they want to kick a field goal. You're well inside field goal range here for R.J. Wright. But right now, I don't think Corey Ashby's thinking field goal. Grondell looking. Down he goes again.
On the play. Tyson Miller with the bring down.
Tyson Miller takes down Garrett Grondell. 2nd and goal now coming up from the 15. And a spike to stop the clock with 4 seconds left. And now what do you do, Amrine? Because you're pretty much on the outer periphery of field goal range, and now I think you got to throw it for the end zone here, don't you?
No, yeah, and I'm curious to see who they're going to go to. Last time I thought they were going to go to R.J. Wright or Nephi, but they went to Gage Huntsman last time, so we'll see if they try another little misdirection play right here. Obviously, a throw is the way you're going to want to go.
Last play of the first half. Grondell looking to the end zone for Wright. Incomplete. Wouldn't have mattered.
Will Fuller with the coverage.
And that is how you end the first half.
Timberwolves 21, Tigers 7.
What a way to end the first half, Amrine. That's a huge stop there for Timpanogos.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be pretty big if he could have mossed him right there in the corner of the end zone. Good play right there, making sure that, the height disadvantage didn't get the best of that defender. So I think that was exactly what Timpanogos wants to go in that half. They don't want that lead basically cut in half as they go into the locker room. Tigers are definitely going to have to regroup and have some things to talk about.
Well, after all our streaming problems in the first half, we appreciate everybody sticking with us. At the half, it's Timpanogos 21 and Hurricanes 7. When you come back from the break, we'll have halftime stats, thoughts on the start of the third quarter. You're watching KSL Sports presentation of high school football. This is Timpanogos football presented by Brent Brown, Toyota Scion.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Apologies for the audio intrusion there, folks. We're having a lot of issues. We apologize for all the issues we've been having all night. Livingston on 1st and 10, going deep up the sideline. A lot of contact. It is incomplete. A lot of hand fighting. And no flag. Jace Meacham in coverage there on Graff.
Yeah, that was anyone's ball right there. I think that it could have very easily, a little bit of a moss play by the wide receiver. And then also a dropped interception at the end.
5:51 left to go here in the third quarter. 28-7 in favor of Timpanogos. Livingston throws. That's complete. Rather, that's dropped.
Pass attempt for Josh Graff was incomplete.
Josh Graff that time, the intended receiver. Gabe Graff, the intended receiver on the other play. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 10 here for the T-Wolves.
Yeah, and he had some open field in front of him there. I think they could have easily picked up a 1st down, if not more.
Now, Timpanogos has scored all 4 of their touchdowns on 3rd or 4th down.
You calling it right now? Or are you going to jinx them?
I don't know. We're about to find out.
I don't know. I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
Livingston looking, takes a shot. Graff, open, incomplete. Just a little bit overthrown in his direction.
Just incomplete.
And it's 4th down and a 3-and-out for the Timberwolves. They'll have to put it away.
Yeah, one thing that was unfortunate right there is you saw the wide receiver going deep. He stuck out his hands probably about 5 yards too early. That's going to slow you down. Keep on running right before the ball gets to you. I think if he just focuses on tracking down that ball, that would have been a completed pass right there.
Harris Reed to kick it away. Timpanogos a man short on the punt formation. And the snap goes over Reed's head, and he's going to be tackled in the end zone, and that is a safety.
Safety.
For Hurricane.
Flag on the field.
Oh.
There is a penalty marker down, though, at the line of scrimmage. And I deeply suspect this is probably going to be an illegal shift. Looked like a gunner was heading towards the line of scrimmage.
Illegal procedure against the T-Wolves.
And so it is. Penalty is declined, and it will result in 2.
Safety.
Fortunately, Timberwolves don't get a catch a break right there.
They do not. But at least they're still in front. They lead 28-9 now. As we're showing 5 minutes and 36 seconds left here in the third quarter. Now, while we have a minute, let's kind of bring you up to speed on what everybody's missed here since we had all the issues. So we've had, the the Gabe Graff touchdown was on a 3rd down, in case anybody missed it. And so what's interesting about this, Amrine, is I don't think the viewers at home kind of heard this as we were having all the issues with the streaming and whatnot, but it seems like the Timberwolves have thrived in these kind of 3rd down and long, 4th down and short situations because they know they have the better players than Hurricane. And it's just, the onus is on Hurricane now to just get off the field.
Yeah, and I think perhaps one part of it is they just chip away just with little plays here and there, and then they're really able to show their talent and athleticism with those big plays. As you saw their last touchdown that they scored, it was a deep ball to the right side. Just showed that they're on a different level right here. As they're able to get this ball from the safety, from the punt from the safety, I think that one thing that Tigers have to do is keep on establishing their run. That's worked for them so far. I'm just not confident in their passing game against the Timberwolves defense right now. That's kind of what we've seen so far as we were having those technical difficulties.
So Harris Reed will take the free kick from the 20. And this will be returnable from the 18. And Hunter Prince gets out to about the 36.
Kick taken out to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Hurricane.
And the Tigers will take over from there with 5:30 left on our clock. Remember, the game bug on your screen is unofficial.
Closing pretty soon. Head down.
And again, we want to apologize, folks. We have had a lot of issues all night long, but we are grateful you guys have stuck with us all night long. Alexander Timble alongside Alex Amrine here at Timpanogos High School. Big drive here for Hurricane, down by 3 scores. Still very much in this game. Ethan Staples lines up as the single setback. Grondell to pass, and Grondell throws down the field, and he's got a man, and Wright is going to go all the way!
Touchdown Tigers. 63-yard touchdown reception.
Just like that! R.J. Wright, 63 yards, there are no flags, and the Tigers have a pulse.
Right before that play started, I saw the corner, who was an R.J. Wright, step down. He's been playing about 7-8 yards off of him the whole night. Finally stepped down. I wonder, okay, is he going to just run deep? And he did right there. Just an unfortunate just adjustment right there by the Timberwolves side. That's exactly what you need right now for the Tigers to just inject some life back into this team.
So R.J. Wright, who caught the touchdown, now will try the extra point to try to make it a 12-point game. And he does.
R.J. Wright's PAT is good. With 5:19 up in the
and
third
just
quarter.
like that, with 5:19 to go here in the third quarter, it is a 28-16 game. Wow. You talk about a turn of events. We had one right there. We'll be back in 30 seconds on KSLSports.com after this word from WGU.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Don't blink, you'll miss it. Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind's presentation of Timpanogos football, presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. Well, in case anybody missed it, we had a safety by Harris Reed on a fumbled snap, and then R.J. Wright, 63 yards, one play, bingo. And it is a 28-16 game. Kickoff will be returnable for Tyler Hunter. And Hunter gets dogpiled right at the 21-yard line.
Tyler Hunter with the return out to the 23-yard line.
Clock reached 5:13 to go here in the third quarter.
You know, one thing I want to point out, Alex, is, you know, before they got that last touchdown, the difference between a 3-score game and a 2-score game, that entirely changes the way that, you know, you play offense. You know, 3 scores, you know, you're kind of just playing to chew the clock. With 2 scores, you're kind of trying to play, you know, keep away. You're trying to make sure, of course, that you drain the clock still, but that you keep the pressure on the offense, that you can get some points on the board and keep this game out of the reach of the Tigers.
Luke Livingston breaking into the clear! Talk about an answer! Touchdown, no flags!
Livingston hits the trifecta. 77-yard touchdown run. He runs, he passes, he catches.
Now that's the way you play keep away right there.
Third touchdown of the night for Livingston. He threw one, caught one, and he ran one. 77 yards.
I believe that's 13 touchdowns on the year, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Alex?
It is indeed. 13 total touchdowns for Luke Livingston. What a time to come out of those technical difficulties, huh?
Yeah.
Extra point is good.
Is good with 5:01.
And with 5:01 to go here in the third quarter, a pair of one-play touchdowns. Timpanogos leads 35-16. Wow, Alex Amrine.
And on the Tiger side of the ball, if you're a fan, this is not a game for the faint of heart, as they've scored time and time again on 3rd and 4th down. And right there, just as the Tigers seemed like, okay, we're back in this game, we're only down by 12. Right away, Luke Livingston off to the races. And a great play by Luke Livingston. It didn't look like there was that big of a gap. He was able to read the blocks and then just off to the races. You know, 50, 60 yards. Fantastic play right there.
Luke Livingston definitely showing you what he's made of. As we're under 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. What a third quarter it's been. So a safety, a 63-yard touchdown by Wright, and then a 77-yard touchdown run by Livingston. Reid's kickoff will be short of the end zone and will be returned by Prince. Prince runs into his own man, stays on his feet, and he gets twisted to the turf at about the 28-yard line. That's where the Tigers will start.
He didn't just stumble into his man right there. He ran right into him. It was interesting. It looked like he had a gap to the left and the right. Chose the right, and unfortunately, boom, right, met his teammate right in the back.
Yeah, traffic back up on the I-15 at 4 in the afternoon now, Brian. That wasn't pretty.
Don't even get me started on the I-15 traffic.
Okay, how about the I-5 traffic then? Since you being from California, I'll start on that.
Well, thankfully, I don't live down in L.A. I live in like the more just normal part of California where it's not as hectic and crazy around rush hour.
Anything but normal is hectic down there these days. Here's Grondell. Gets around the corner to the 30, and he'll be taken down right at the 36-yard line. First contact made there by Timpanogos' Nash Price. 4:34 and rolling here in the third quarter. 35-16 your score. Remember, the score bug on your screen is unofficial.
I bet the Timberwolves right here are itching to get a turnover, get the ball back into the hands of the offense, so that they can excite this crowd just as much as the other side of the ball.
They have two tonight so far. Here's a pitch to Staples. Staples will get a first down as he gets tripped up at about the 40. They'll stop the clock when they move the sticks, but that will be enough for a first down.
You got about 5 or 6 yards just falling down on that play. I haven't seen that since Frank Gore, per se. Now, you're a big Frank Gore fan, right?
Yeah, funny you asked that. I'm a Niners fan. Thank you very much.
Just a bit of a rhetorical question for you.
That's like me with your Patriots references that we haven't heard since probably the first quarter. We'll probably get one before the game ends.
I'm trying to cut back.
Yeah, we're probably trying to get one before the game ends, though, as Eloa makes the catch on the stick play. He gets about maybe 5.
Tackled down to the 46.
Second down and call it 4 now at the 46. Rondell in the shotgun. Staples next to him. Rondell drops the snap. Tries to get upfield, and he's sacked.
Quarterback sack on the play.
Well, that was all helter-skelter from the start. Joseph Vance made the sack. That's number 6 on the night there for Timpanogos.
The defense has been eating those up all day. A lot of broken plays on the Tiger side of the ball. And like we said, coming into this game, this unit had 10 sacks, now 16 on the season.
They could double their total from the first 2 games before the end of this one. That's even a scarier thought.
Right before you said that, I had the exact same thought.
That's a pretty scary thought. 3rd down and 6. Play action, throws. That is complete to Wright. Wright breaking tackles down the sideline. And he steps out of bounds. And he'll get to the 46, enough to move the sticks again.
You know, I think it's fortunate for this Timpanogos side that Wright lines up right on the sideline and was able to get knocked out, because that's not a guy that you bring down super easily. He's been able to break a few tackles, and, you know, he broke away big for a big touchdown on the last drive.
Staples goes in motion. Grondell looking. Grondell, penalty flag goes down as he gets taken down. We'll see what the flag is, but I have a feeling that this is going to be against the offense.
That seems to have been the trend thus far in this game.
There's a flag on the field.
And where the offense is moving, it looks like this is going to be against Hurricane. And it is.
Holding against the Tigers.
Holding the call. And that will back up the Tigers now into their own territory here. Make it 1st and 20. Staples again. Lone setback. Eloa now lines up in the slot to the right. Grondell looking, throws for right, and that is nearly intercepted. Kind of hung it up there. Tage Litster
with the coverage.
Almost had the pick right there, and I think that almost made Uncle Dusty come out of his seat right there.
Yeah, that would have been quite the play. He had to get quite high up in the air right there, almost an interception. I think he could have gotten 1 foot in bounds. I think Grondell felt the pressure coming from behind. He had his running back blocking for him on the corner blitz and able to get the ball out in time. Unfortunate, end of the play either way.
2nd down and 21 now. Staples remains in as the single setback. Goes in motion. Grondell throws the inside tunnel screen. That's to Wright. Wright's got a couple of blockers out in front of him. And he gets knocked down right at the 42-yard line.
42-yard line.
They pick up 11 yards plus 3 more. That'll make it 3rd and a manageable 6. Pickup of 15 on the tunnel screen.
3rd and 6.
Clock rolling with under 2 minutes to go. Hurricane got it down to a 12-point game earlier in this 3rd quarter, and now they're back down by 3 scores. Still in it, though. Here's a stretch play to Staples. Breaks a tackle. And he'll be brought down at the 39.
Staples carries.
It'll be 4th and 3, and obvious, I think, here. You go for it.
Yeah, no, you got to see right now at this stage of the game, about at the start of the 4th quarter. On that last run, I really think that he could have stretched it out to the left. They've had some success with that in the past. He chose to go up the middle and was stuffed.
On 4th downs tonight, Hurricane is just 1 for 4. Their lone 4th down conversion came on the touchdown. And now we have a flag. And they're going to say it's an offside. It looked like the defender crossed the neutral zone, but... And indeed, it is offside, and that means it's a 1st down by penalty. Well, if anything's going to drive Austin Heaps mad, that's it.
Yeah, it looks like the defense was about to bring the heat on that 3rd down right there. Unfortunately, they couldn't get him off the field because of an own mistake.
So Grondell from the shotgun, 1st and 10 from the 34. Pump fake, looking, throws, got right, up the sideline. It is incomplete. There is a flag down at the 20. It's in the secondary. And I have a feeling, Amrine, that this might be a defensive holding penalty here of some kind, or it could be an illegal contact.
Yeah, we'll have to see, and it was hard to see from our side of the field. It looks like he was able to hold on to the ball right there, once again jumping above a defender. Great athletic play.
We'll see what the call is. The flag's down in the secondary. And it is indeed holding against Timpanogos. That's generally where you see a defensive holding in the secondary, and that results in an automatic 1st down.
1st and 10 Tigers.
So another 1st down by penalty here for the Tigers. First and 10 now from the Timpanogos 24. Here's a pitch pass. And that one got snuffed out.
Brought down behind the line quickly by Logan Wheeler.
Logan Wheeler came up from his linebacker spot. Loss of 6 on that one.
Yeah, Logan Wheeler started to come down into the middle as soon as he saw that wide receiver come in motion. Was able to come through the B gap and make it for a great tackle for loss.
Grondell will just look over to the sideline, and I believe that will do it for the 3rd quarter. And indeed, that will do it.
Our score, T-Wolves 35, Tigers 16.
So a wild 3rd quarter comes to an end. And we are going to get set for the 4th quarter.
Students, thank you for coming out and supporting your team.
Of this one. You're watching Timpanogos football presented by Brett Brown Toyota.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright at Brent Brown Toyota in Orem.
To the familiar Tuna YMCA, we welcome you back to KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of high school football. Timpanogos football. KSL Sports Rewind is presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. Alexander Timolip and Alex Amrine here, ready to start the fourth quarter. Grondell on 2nd and 16. Looking, steps up, now he's going to run, breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet inside the 20, and knocked out of bounds inside the 10. Boy, you talk about toughness personified. Garrett Grondell's just not wanting to go down.
Yeah, that was a rabbit out of the hat strip right there. I was about to say that Timberwolves about to get their 17th sack on the season, 7th of the game. He ends up picking a first down. I was wondering if he even might get the score right there. Fortunate for the Timberwolves, able to get him down. It looks like it'll be about 1st and goal, or just outside of it now.
And we have some crampage on the field. So we'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be back after this word from WGU on KSLSports.com.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Test day's test day. Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
Tests on your time. Courses on your time. Graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit University of View.
Tage Litster was the cramping Timpanogos player. And he's still feeling it as he's coming off the field. He'll be replaced by Race Helm.
And that's always hard to see when players get hurt in a game that, looks like they should be able to close out in the final quarter. You never want to see a guy go down on either side of the ball. Especially when
Hurricane is marching inside the red zone. 1st and goal now at the 9. RJ Wright lines up to the right. Alex DeLeo to the left. Eloa lines up as the tight end. Now they shift out.
We just heard an assistant coach screaming at the sideline, watch the slant, so we'll see if it goes to it right here.
It's a screen. Staples not able to come up with it, though, as the ball tumbles to the turf. 2nd down and goal.
Staples was visibly upset as he slammed the ball into the turf right there. I think he turned around and saw that he had an offensive line for every defender that was in front of him right there. Could have gotten to the end zone.
2nd down and goal now from the 9. Officially, it's at the 10.
See right here, we got Wright lined up on our side.
And they're going that way as Grondell to the end zone. Touchdown! Hurricane!
RJ Wright, 10-yard reception from Grondell.
Beautiful catch, but an even better throw. Just out of the reach of the defender. The defender was looking at RJ Wright the whole way through, didn't even turn around to look at the ball. And I think that's, some of the ways that you got to play. You just want to get up in their face. When you got a guy as athletic as RJ Wright, you want to obscure his field of vision as much as possible. Didn't do him any good right there. Tigers get on the board once again.
And we are once again in a 2-score game, and they're going to go for 2. But Amrine, even then, this game's not over yet. 13 points to deficit, and still a whole quarter to go. This thing's not done.
We've seen crazier things in football.
So they're going for 2 to try to make it an 11-point game. That'll, in effect, force them to get a field goal. Penalty flag goes down. Grondell throws. It's caught for the 2. But I have a feeling that this is going to be blown dead because of an illegal formation on the 2-point convert. We'll see what the officials say, Amrine, but it looks like from that, it looks like it's going to be a illegal formation. Or is it? Or is it going to be an offside?
Yeah, we'll see.
And it looks like it's an illegal shift, and I called that one.
Motion against the Tigers.
So we'll do it again.
5-yard penalty, replay the try.
But that actually works out, Amrine, because now you're at the 7. That almost works out in Hurricanes' favor here. You got a little more space to work with because Timpanogos could basically use the 12th man as the back of the end zone. Now you're stretched out a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's so hard when the field gets so congested down there. And it is more ideal in this situation. Unfortunately, they did score on that 2-point conversion try. So let's see if they can manage here again.
Rundell, screen, Staples, twisting, turning, will not make it.
Good.
Well, they had the right play set up, but it just wouldn't get in.
Initial contact by Helm.
But it will make it, but it will remain a 2-score game here, Amrine. And we just heard the student section down there start chanting scoreboard. They better look at that scoreboard because 11:38 to go. This thing's not done yet.
Yeah, plenty of time. And as they just showed us, they have plenty of life in them left. I'm curious to see if the Timberwolves are able to go out there and score right away again. Let's see who they're going to go to. When I go back to Luke Livingston, it's worked thus far.
I'd like to remind you, KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of high school football is presented all season long by Western Governors University. Western Governors University is affording you the opportunity to make 2022 the year of you when you apply for a $2,500 online scholarship at wgu.edu. Online, accredited, affordable. That's the power of the University of U, WGU. Alexander Timolip, Alex Amrine here. We have been through a lot of technical difficulties, but we picked the right time to come out of them. It's 35-22 in favor of Timpanogos.
Yeah, finish strong. We'll see which team wants to finish strongest right here.
Got to be aware of the onside kick, though, here, Amrine. We've seen stranger things happen. And it's a kickoff full by Wright. And it will be a touchback, as you cannot return a kickoff from the end zone in high school football.
Kickoff into the end zone for a touchback.
So we'll come out to the 20. Now Luke Livingston has 3 of the 5 touchdowns here tonight. He has scored a rushing, a passing, and a reception touchdown. He has 13 total touchdowns this year already through 3 games. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and one thing I was going to say is their ability to finish off drives, but it's not like they've had all these touchdowns come out of red zone opportunities. These have been touchdowns that have been big, big plays coming even from their own side of the field.
And this time it's a straight wildcat play to MJ Yosefo.
Short gain on the play.
And he goes nowhere.
Second down.
Bit surprising. They had 4 wide receivers lined up to that left side, and instead Austin Heaps decides to go with the run. Gotta admit, it's a little early to start doing that. A little bit more nervous energy now here at Timpanogos High. Play clock down to 10. Yosefo in the gun. Again, will Wildcat run it to the right side this time. He has a little bit of room. And he'll get up to about the 27, 28-yard line, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. And Amrine, this is a big 3rd down here for Timpanogos.
Yeah, no, and I think the thing to do right here is just feed it once again to MJ, or even try and get the ball out to Luke Livingston on a short little pass. But I wouldn't try anything too crazy when you have the clock running down. While we did say there's a lot of time left on the clock, the odds still are in your favor. Looks like they have, they're taking their time and they're chewing down the play clock. It doesn't look like there's a lot of confusion, but they just want to play the clock to their advantage.
Triple wide receiver goes to the right, Livingston. And now we have a timeout call by Austin Heaps, and we've seen a lot of that tonight from the Timberwolves. A lot of confusion on the offensive side.
Yeah, no, at the start of that first quarter, it was pretty early on in the first half where they used all 3 of their timeouts, and, you and I kind of had the discussion, this looks like this might be a tough night for the offense. Thankfully, they were able to get things figured out. Right here, it might just look like they're trying to figure out how they want to end this game.
We'll be back in just a moment after this word from WGU and from Brent Brown Toyota Scion.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Test day's test day. Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
Tests on your time. Courses on your time. Graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit University of View.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright at Brent Brown Toyota in Orem.
Back here at Timpanogos High School, we pick it up live, and I mean live, as Livingston is not going to get there. Livingston brought down for a loss on the play, and Hurricane is going to get the ball back.
Here we go. That's what the Tigers needed as they prepare to receive this punt. Now, and right here, too, you're in the situation where you can run the normal offense that you've been running, all night long. It's not like you need to score 2 scores quickly. You have plenty of football ahead of you. Don't try to do anything crazy. Do what's worked for you thus far that's gotten you back into this game.
Harris Reed will punt it away to R.J. Wright, who already had a 63-yard reception touchdown earlier in this half. This time it's a better snap. Reed hits a good one. It's a line drive. Wright takes it at the 35. Penalty flag goes down to the 40. He's at midfield to the 45 and brought down to the 40. But there is a flag down there. There's another flag down there. There's another flag down on the same spot. And I have a feeling these are all going to somehow in some way offset. I know one of them is a block in the back. There's a flag down near the 45.
Yeah, I saw the block in the back. And MJ Iosefo just got basically taken down from behind there. I saw him on the ground, and he looked like he was looking at the refs right away as the flag came out.
There's also 2 flags down at the 35. And they both came in late. That's the other thing. They both came in late on the play. So we'll just see what they say as they sort this out. We know at least one of them is a block in the back. So illegal block in the back. We called that one against the Tigers. And then after the play was over, we had a dead ball personal foul against Hurricane. So that's going to wipe out a pretty good return by R.J. Wright. It was a 20-yard return by R.J. Wright, and now the Tigers are going to start basically on the other end of the field where Wright caught the punt.
Yeah, less than ideal. I think that one of the biggest momentum killers are penalties, especially penalties that can be so easily avoided by blocks in the back. Holdings are very common. Those are obviously can be avoided by clean play, but a block in the back, that could be a real drive killer here.
35-22 is our score, folks. We're not done yet. 9:36 left. Still a lot of football to play. It's just a 2-score game between the Timpanogos Timberwolves and the Hurricane Tigers. Alexander Tumop alongside Alex Amrine, our season debut for the 2022-23 school year here on KSL Sports Rewind. What a time we picked. We had all kinds of technical difficulties, but we came out of it, and then we had 3 consecutive scoring plays, all within about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's been fun. We're super happy that the viewers have been able to see perhaps the best parts of the game thus far.
Luke Livingston has 3 touchdowns in the game, 1 passing, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. And having some issues here with the game balls. So the officials are telling the clock operators to reset the play clock. We'll try it again. Not ideal. You don't want to play with the opposing team's game ball there.
No.
You want to have yours to go down the field with. So Grondell in the shotgun. And it's a draw play. This is Staples, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage. What a play by Wheeler.
Snuffed out quickly.
I mean, Wheeler was waiting for that one, and he said, come here.
Yeah, he read
and just wrapped him up like a bear hug.
Read that one all day long. Good wrap-up tackle. Good form right there.
Second down.
Check that. It was actually Cody Hawks with the tackle. I mean, that was textbook as it gets right there. One-on-one contact. Second down and 10. No gain. Grondell going deep. for DeLeo, incomplete. It was pretty well covered there.
Litzer on the coverage.
Yeah, I was going to be very
on the play by Tage Litzer, and it will once again bring up a 3rd and long, and this is a big one here for Hurricane.
Yeah, Litzer right there, he was able to just play off. He was able to keep him pace. It looked like the wide receiver was pretty fast right there, but he was able to be with him stride for stride. Didn't look like he had a chance to bring that one in.
It could be louder than that.
3rd down. Staples. Not even close. He got maybe 4.
Quickly by the T-Wolves. Tyson Miller and Joseph Vance in on the stop.
And that's a big stop. That's a big stop there for the Timpanogos Timberwolves. They were getting the momentum swamped against them, and they get a quick 3 and out just like that.
Yeah, they prepare to punt it right here. Nowhere near the end of the game.
And look who's back receiving, Alex Amrine, Luke Livingston.
Oh, there we go.
R.J. Wright to kick it away. And he hits a shank. And Livingston comes up, makes the fair catch at the 45-yard line.
45. First and 10.
27-yard punt, no return. We'll be back in 15 seconds after this quick word from Brent Brown Toyota Scion.
When Brent Brown Toyota in Orem became the #1 Toyota dealer in the nation in customer loyalty, our sales surged. That continued explosive growth leaves us without the amount of used cars to meet demand, paying unheard of prices for trade-ins, or we'll just buy your car outright at Brent Brown Toyota in Orem.
Welcome back to Timpanogos High School. Next week, KSL Sports Rewind will bring you coverage of the game of the week, as we have a penalty flag before that announcement. And it looks like we have, if I get my hunch right, looks like we have yet another equipment violation. And that's the second one we've seen tonight. Well, to be fair, Amrine, it is something that the National High School Football Association is cracking down a lot more on this year, is that making sure that the players' knees and legs are covered a lot more often this year. And you talked about how rare it is we get to see an equipment violation. We've seen 2 of that here tonight on both sides.
Yeah, no, well, it's understandable why the players don't want to play with those knee pads. I mean, when I played high school ball, I hated those things. I won't lie, I didn't wear them. Thankfully, nothing bad ever happened, but the injuries, these rules are meant to protect these players, these young men out here. We don't want them getting hurt, having injuries that can affect them for a while, or the rest of their lives even. So it's good to see that the refs are implementing these rules to look after these guys.
And just in case you're wondering, folks, yes, this actually has happened in Hawaii high school football as well, but unlike here in Utah, it does not result in an equipment violation penalty. And it looks like we had another, or it looks like they're respotting where the ball was after the equipment violation penalty. But, Amrine, I will say this. It does happen. And in Hawaii high school football, they're also cracking down on this as well this year. And so you're right. That's what's it's good that they're protecting the players by doing this.
First and 10 T-Wolves at the 25. Stretching first and 5 at the 25.
So we had another penalty, by the way. That was a illegal substitution against the Tigers. Livingston hands off Yosefo. And he gets stood up right at the line of scrimmage.
On the play. Second down and
clock running with under 8 minutes to go here. Remember, the clock bug on your screen is unofficial.
Defense there, as they wrapped up Yosefo, they were able to wrap him up and pick him up and take him back a little bit. Thankfully, forward progress exists for the Timberwolves.
Just saw Adrix Clegg, number 66, limp off the field. Looks like he might be cramping up a bit. Second down and 3 now from the 23. Livingston hands off to Yosefo. And again, nowhere to go.
Off the right, stopped at the line.
And it's going to bring up another third down. Third down and 5 here, Amrine. And knowing where the T-Wolves here are on the field, I would assume this is probably 4-down territory.
No, yeah, I think so as well. And these last two plays have been interesting. The defensive line for the Tigers has been able to go right through it. Like from my point of view, I can't even see the Timberwolves offensive line by the time that they wrap up Iosefo in the backfield.
That's what we touched on at the open, folks. This Hurricane defense is stingy and stubborn. And they're doing their part to hold the Tigers in the game right now. Here's a layoff to Iosefo, and it's dropped.
Pass attempt for Iosefo goes incomplete.
That one was just overthrown, and Luke Livingston knows it as he was jumping up and down, knowing that Iosefo could have taken it easily for the first down.
35-22 our score, 6:42 left here in the fourth quarter. And we're going to have a timeout here by Timpanogos to try and draw something up. So we'll step aside with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this word from UCCU on KSLSports.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that
.6:42 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Alexander Thibault alongside Alex Amrine. And look at this formation, Alex.
Yeah, at the start, I thought this was a field goal, but I didn't see the kicker out there.
It's a power running formation. Now they shift out of it. And Livingston's going to throw. And Livingston is going to throw, and it's caught! Graf inside the 10, down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Down at the 9. The 14-yard
what a call there by Austin Heaps.
Yeah, very creative and clever play calling. I mean, it fooled me for all the way up here. It looked like a field goal, and they switched to, as you said, a power running back. They went to the right, cut back to the left on the misdirection, able to get the first down right there, set up themselves up for first and goal.
Clock running inside of 6.5 minutes to go. You have to think a touchdown here likely could be it. Livingston, he's already got 3 tonight. Gets to the 5, and he'll be twisted out of bounds at about the 5-yard line.
Livingston brought down around the 6.
Students want a flag, but none comes.
Second down.
.544 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Second and goal from the 6. Should point out that this could be reasonable field goal range here for Harris Reed, who did not play the first couple of games because of an injury.
What do you think? They're going to throw it on second and goal? I love throwing on second and goal.
They're going to run it. Iosefo is stopped at about the 5-yard line. A mark him officially there at the 6. No gain on the play. Now this is probably where you throw it.
Yeah, right here. There's not a whole lot of risk right here. Keep them guessing. And then, fourth down, they can just, kind of do whatever they want right here. You can get creative. Just under 5 minutes on the clock.
Play clock down inside of 10. Austin Heaps telling his squad to keep the clock moving. Livingston. And he'll be brought down at about the 3.
That was some hard head-to-head contact right there. I could hear it from all the way up here at the top of the press box.
Yeah, pads were popping right there. It's 4th and goal, and given the fact that the ball is where it is, surprising that they're not going to try a field goal, so they are going to try to go for it. 4th and goal at the 2.
Looks like.
Yeah, timeout.
Timeout, Hurricane.
And a timeout is called with
There's
4:04.
a stomp right after the game. $5 at the door, cash or card, and it will end at
4:04 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Timpanogos by
over.
13. Back after this.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Test day's test day. Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
Tests on your time. Courses on your time. Graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of VIEW.
At UC
KSL Sports Rewind would like to thank UCCU and WGU for their sponsorship of our high school coverage. Also like to thank the Salt Lake Running Company, and also like to thank Heidemann and Associates for their sponsorship of KSL Sports Rewind. 4th and goal at the 2. Luke Livingston already has 3 touchdowns in the game. This could pretty much be it right here. And it is a fumbled snap, and it looks like Hurricane has it.
Yeah, I was waiting for the ball to get into Luke Livingston's hands, and I never saw it, and that's when I realized that it was a botch snap the whole time. Tigers get a break right there. You know, this really is that time, too. I mean, like we said, you know, the crazier things have happened with 4 minutes to go, but I think this is one of those times where you just want to, get different cracks at, try different plays for your offense, and I think this game probably has come to a close.
Well, we have seen stranger things happen, but first things first, Hurricane needs to go 98 yards to get in the end zone, and then they need to convert an onside kick more than likely. The Tigers still have all 3 of their time, still have 2 timeouts left. Timpanogos is 2 as well. They'll start in the pistol. And it's a handoff here to Staples. And Staples gets over to the 8-yard line, pickup of about 6 here. And that was probably a situation where you just want to get out of the shadow of your own goal and not take a safety.
Yeah, get some breathing room, widen up your playbook a little bit.
At the gate. Easier to buy your tickets beforehand. They do online ticketing only.
Grondell in the gun. RJ Wright lines up to the right. Play action. Grondell takes it, runs. Grondell gets the first down, and he'll be brought down close to the 16-yard line. That'll be enough to move the sticks.
Yardage is good for 1st and 10 Tigers.
Clock reached 3:16 officially here inside the stadium.
Yeah, no matter how this game turns out, you got to hand it to Grondell. The way that he's played this game, he keeps on getting back up, ready for more, even after he's taking these hard hits. He's probably run the ball more times than he's thrown it tonight, showing some true heart and ferocity.
Grondell looking, throws, passes, nearly picked off. It was thrown behind. It was thrown behind R.J. Wright. And Graff nearly came up with the pick, and there's a flag down from the umpire, and I have a feeling that this is holding.
Yeah, quite the turn of events right there. We saw R.J. Wright go back for a pass. I thought it was going to go there, bounced off his hands, and almost intercepted a little bit off the ground. Could have been a little bit of a Troy Polamalu interception right there. Scoop it off the ground.
Yeah, hearkening back to Polamalu against the Chargers back there in 08.
Oh, yeah.
That a memorable play. Illegal man downfield was the call against the Tigers. 2:58 left to go here in the game. Grondell from the gun. Drops the pass. Looking. Takes a shot into coverage. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Graff. And Graff is out of bounds with a flag down. At about the 27-yard line. The pass was intended for R.J. Wright. And Wright went the other way. The pass went the other way. Wright went one way. The pass went the other way. And Graff made the interception, and that should just about do it.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a miscommunication right there. Maybe he was just throwing it up for a miracle to happen, get this offense rolling down the field. But all that safety had to do right there is just stand right there and wait for the ball to come to him.
It's like there could be another block in the back penalty after the fact. Actually, it's a blindside block, yeah.
Helmet contact against the T-Wolves.
So it's a blindside block, which means it'll back it up 15 yards from the spot of the foul.
1st and 10, T-Wolves.
Doesn't matter, though. Timberwolves will have it 1st and 10. As we come to the conclusion of this broadcast, we'd like to remind you that Amrine and I will be selecting our choice for the Heidemann & Associates Player of the Game coming up at the end of the game. Heidemann & Associates is a proud sponsor and the official law firm of KSL Sports Rewind. 2:49 officially on our clock left here in the game. 35-22 in favor of Timpanogos. Livingston throws. That's complete to Bretzing. And Bretzing gets horse-collared as the flags fly.
I think there were 2 Tiger defenders that got a horse collar on that one. It looked like it from my angle.
Yeah, somebody grabbed the face mask, and then somebody else grabbed the nameplate. I'm not sure who it was, but you could have called both of them for face masks on that one.
He was getting tugged in every direction on that one.
Hailing of George Kittle against New Orleans on 4th and 2 of note. Sorry to bring that up for all the Saints fans watching. I had to get that in there as a Niners fan, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good for another T-Wolf. First and 10 T-Wolves at the 18.
MJ Yosefo now goes in to the shotgun with Livingston lined up to the right. Pump fake in his direction, now throws to the end zone. Feet got tangled up, incomplete.
Really unfortunate right there, because I think that definitely would have had the score had it not been for the feet entanglement. MJ was able to escape some pressure and evaded to his left, got the ball up after the pump fake and the little stop and go. Oh, missed shot right there.
They're trying hard to get Livingston his 4th.
Oh, yeah. Get those numbers up. Get this boy into college.
Yeah. Livingston is going to go in at QB now with MJ Yosefo in the single setback position. Bretzing and the 2 Graffs line up to the left. And it's a handoff. Penalty flag goes down.
Bretzing carries across the 15. However, Wansley on the field.
Easton Bretzing with the carry on that one, but from the signal we're getting, it looks like it's coming back the other way.
Holding ace of T-Wolves.
Like we said, folks, normally when you see a flag from the umpire, it's holding.
Isn't it always kind of funny when the refs get their most busy and kind of filler time at the end of the games?
Yeah. It's like Al Michaels said the other night when there was a fumble in the San Francisco-Houston preseason game. They would look at it, New York, but New York went home.
Gotta love the famous and legendary Al Michaels.
Yes, working for Prime Sports now as their play-by-play announcer. Meanwhile, that's Gabe Graff picking up some extra yardage after the catch.
Down to the 18-yard line.
Dragged down to the 18-yard line. Picked up a few of the penalty yards back. In fact, he picked up all of them. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, he was able to wiggle his way out of a few cornerbacks right there and get a good chunk.
And a timeout is called by Hurricane. Clock reads officially 1:40 here in this one. Again, a reminder to stick around as Amrine and I will be selecting our Heidemann & Associates Player of the Game. I want to bring you up to date on some scores going on from around the state. If we can pull them up here. Doesn't look like it's cooperating with us here in the moment, so we'll just hold off on that for right now. That's because I'm looking at the wrong date, that's why. Layton defeating Lewiston earlier today in an out-of-state game, 41-28 of note. And West Jordan defeating Hunter 31-6. And how about Olympus against Cairns right now, 38-16 late in the third. That's over on KSL Game Night Live. That's the official KSL TV app. I have some more updates on scores for you coming up here just after the game is over. Iosefo throws wide open. Touchdown! Walking into the end zone is Logan Wheeler. A 16-yard touchdown throw. The second touchdown pass of the night for MJ Iosefo comes with 1:34 to go. And again, Amrine, theme of the night, another third down touchdown.
Yeah, right there. Just when you think the Tigers are about to catch a break, Iosefo was able to find the end zone again. Not the first time that he's found the end zone through the air for the easy score right there. It looks like it was some blown coverage on the backside of the end zone.
Harris Reed for the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is good. And so a 1:34 to go here in the game. It is 42-22 in favor of the Timberwolves. So back to the score. Back to the scores we were looking at. Spanish Fork defeating Desert Hills earlier, 26-13. And Syracuse leading Westlake right now, or beat Westlake today, 37-13. Here's one, Amrine, I think most people will be surprised, will be a little bit surprised by. American Fork right now, this is over on KSLSports.com with Dane Stewart and Moose Bingham. American Fork leading West 20-6 late in the fourth.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, West got shut out last week against Mater Dei, and they're going up against a pretty good American Fork team, and I tell you what, Region 4 is stacked this year at 6A.
Yeah, a lot of good players around that region.
Some other scores we're looking at right now. Skyridge over Harriman, 43-0. That one's gone final. And, boy, talk about a shocker. Orem, a front runner in 5A, Amrine, got shut out by Pleasant Grove, 47-0.
Yeah, I know when they announced the score earlier here, obviously crosstown rivals here at Timpanogos with Orem. We heard the crowd cheer as we heard that they had a big fat goose egg on the scoreboard.
Well, I think they'll be even happier now that there's an even bigger goose egg on the scoreboard, but anyway, as the kickoff goes through the end zone for a touchback, they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line with 1:34 to go. Timpanogos will play Mountain View next week. We'll have that game for you on KSLSports.com, and I'll be off to Cyprus against West next week, Friday. Both games kick off at 7 o'clock p.m. Here, 1:34 to go in the fourth quarter. Timberwolves leading 42-22. I'd like to thank our good cameraman Chase here tonight. And, of course, we ought to send a shout-out to all the people here at Timpanogos High School for helping us out with our technical difficulties. They really saved our backsides here tonight.
Yeah, we had one guy who was scrambling around looking for an extension cord for us, was very friendly, able to help us out. Wasn't able to catch his name. I'm going to have to find him after, shake his hand, give him a thank you.
He definitely will for sure. As Grondell throws, that's complete to Staples. And Staples breaks out over the 30, out over the 40, close to midfield, and he'll be brought down close to midfield.
Complete to Staples. Brought down at the 50-yard line.
And again, like we said, Amrine, give credit to this Hurricane team. They are going to be a very difficult team to play against, not because necessarily the way they play, but the way they attack and they stay aggressive all the way to the end of the game.
Yeah, no, just that last play showed it right there. Like, they do not give up. They play all four quarters every minute to the very end right here. As we see a great roundabout play right here, I'll let you take this one away.
Well, look at Garrett Grondell go down the sideline. He's at the 10, at the 5, and he is in.
Touchdown, Hurricanes.
What a play as we go to the last minute.
Flag on the field.
There is a flag down. And the flag is at the 42-yard line. And that, unfortunately, is going to go for naught. And it's a chop block. Against the Hurricane Tigers, and it wipes out an amazing touchdown run there by Garrett Grondell.
Yeah, once again, that would have added even more, just rushing yards and more accolades to his resume right there, and just this game.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at midfield. Or rather, it'll be 1st and 17 now, back inside the 50 at the 43-yard line. What a game for Garrett Grondell. Back to pass. Grondell looking, throws, coming back and making the catch. And actually, that's intercepted. That's intercepted by Litster. Tage Litster with the interception. Now Uncle Dusty can smile.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was waiting for it.
So, Dusty, if you're listening back in the KSL Sports studio, there's your nephew coming up with the pick.
Yeah, I thought that one got caught by a Tigers player, and then all of a sudden I see Lister just run down the side with blazing speed. I thought you might have taken that one back to the house.
And that ought to just about do it with 45.2 seconds to go. It'll be a victory formation, and Timpanogos will go to 3-0 on the season. I'd like to thank, again, all the people behind the scenes tonight. We'd like to thank our cameraman, Chase. We'd like to thank our man back in the studio, Vince Francis.
$7 for all visitors.
I'd like to thank Dusty Litster for his help also in helping to co-produce this tonight. I want to thank all of you for staying patient with us throughout the night.
That's our ball game. Our
as that will do it.
Timberwolves 42, Tigers 22.
42-22 our final. Timpanogos defeats Hurricane. We'll be back after this word from WGU and from our sponsors. When you come back, Amrine and I will have final thoughts and our choice for Heidemann & Associates Player of the Game. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of high school football.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Welcome back, everybody. KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of Timpanogos football presented by Brent Brown Toyota Scion. Your final score, Timpanogos wins 42-22 over Hurricane. Timpanogos goes to 3-0 on the season, and Hurricane goes to 0-3. So Alex Amrine, Alexander Timop here. Final thoughts